And give it just a moment. Oh, I really need to hydrate. All right, we are live. We are ready to go. Welcome to Magical Monday Manifestations. This is a Tarot Unicorns and Coffee event. I'm your host, Valorie Lewis. And the way these Mondays run is we all come together to get guidance from the divine spirit, our spirit guides, interstellars, anyone and anything that has messages for our highest and best good. That's what's coming through. And we use the cards to do that. So I first start out with a tarot reading, tarot cards, and then we move on to oracle cards, and spirit weaves its message in the cracks, so to speak. So with that being said, the reason why we get these messages is so that we can manifest, so that we can be the creators that we came here to be. So I hope you take any clarity, guidance, messages that you get today and apply it to your life in a real actual sense so that you can begin manifesting more of what you want out of life. And with that being said, I'm going to invite everyone to ground on their own, to center, clear, and ground on their own, however you feel comfortable doing that. I just consider it that you are bringing all of your attention and focus to this present moment. And then once you feel adequately grounded and completely here and present, go ahead and send your request out into the ethers, out to the divine, God, spirit guides, interstellars, angels, energetic beings. What is it you're seeking guidance on, clarity on? What do you want to know? Even if it's general, just tell me what I need to know. Go ahead and send those requests out. My request is that I be a clear and open channel, and that I receive the messages and deliver them with clarity that they were intended. And then we're going to stop asking and we're going to start receiving. Put yourself in receiving mode, because we cannot ask and receive at the same time. So pick one. Which one you going to do? I hope you are ready to receive messages. And we will get into our tarot reading as soon as I settle on a deck. Which tarot deck should, we should use Dragon Path. Did I grab that one? Do I have that one? Not Dragon Path. I misspoke. It's not called Dragon Path. It's called Tarot of the Dragons. So that is the tarot deck we are using. Here's the illustration for those of y'all who want to know which deck. That's what it looks like. Look at this. The whole box is gorgeous. Look at that dragon. Put that over there. The handbook. Let's see what messages Spirit has for us today from the tarot. A friend of mine was telling me about a reading that they received where the tarot reader had a spread called the What the Fuck spread. And I thought that was so hilarious. I created a What the Fuck spread a while ago, but it's only 3 cards. But I guess this was like a full-fledged full tarot spread. Not that a 3-card spread isn't a full tarot spread. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So maybe that's what we asked Spirit today. What the fuck? What's actually going on? Let's see what answers we get from the tarot. Anybody feel like asking Spirit, what the fuck? Are y'all just cool? Y'all good with what Spirit's dishing out? Some of y'all in what the fuck mode? If you're in what the fuck mode, put it over in chat. I'm curious. We got one person who's in what the fuck mode. Oh Lord, somebody's dealing with 103-degree heat. We got 2 people in what the fuck mode. All right. And I'm in what the fuck mode. So that's 3, 4. Okay. Just as I predicted, all of the energies that are stirring up things for me are stirring up things for everyone, especially those spiritually attuned. especially those attuned to astrological events. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to astrological events. Well, first we had the new moon in Cancer, which means our moon and sun was in Cancer. This was last week, which means it's bringing up a lot of emotions for us. Then we had, I do believe on the 21st, 22nd, roundabout there, Venus went into retrograde. The day immediately after Venus went into retrograde, Chiron went into retrograde. Let me tell you a little bit about Venus and Chiron being in retrograde. Venus, beautiful goddess who I identify with on a soul level. Venus is in charge of love, relationships, and money matters. And when those planets, or when she goes into retrograde, it's asking you to reflect, and reflect on those areas of your life. There's a lot more. That's just basic one-on-one. Reflect on those areas of your life. So you might have things from your past coming up, unresolved issues, things that you thought you laid to rest in those areas. And you're just like, what the fuck? Why am I dealing with this again? Thank Goddess Venus for that. Venus in retrograde. Second, Chiron in retrograde. Ooh, let's talk about Chiron, because Chiron is a bitch and a half. Chiron, the wounded healer, is about wounds, hopefully being healed from those wounds, and then using the knowledge from the healing process or from the healing itself to help ourselves, to further ourselves along the path and to help others. The wounded healer. Because in the story of Chiron, Chiron was wounded from birth, learned how to heal himself, and then took that knowledge and helped others heal themselves. So what does Chiron in retrograde do for us? It takes all them wounds that you thought were healed over, and it just pokes a finger in it and just twists it around and says, are you really healed? Are you really healed? Here, why don't you think about this? Why don't you work on this? So if you have old wounds surfacing, things that like insecurities, things that you thought you were doing pretty good on, and now all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck is happening to my life? That's what's happening. Chiron is our best friend, Christina said. Chiron gives you a ton of insight on your path. So use this time to actually reflect on that. But I just wanted to give y'all a heads up. If you're experiencing things that just seem discordant from your path and what you've been working on, that might be why. Okay, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. First card up is Page of Swords. Look at this dragon with the butterfly on its sword. That's so cool. Page, new, fresh beginnings, the young page of the court. Swords, thoughts and communication. This Page of Swords, you know what I'm noticing from this, not heroically speaking, but just from this picture, I noticed that there's a butterfly on this sword, which to me would indicate transformation. But the dragon is looking in the other direction. The dragon is looking away. So I think this is saying that you have the opportunity for transformation. You have the opportunity for a new, fresh perspective in the area of your thoughts or in the area of communication, but you got to pay attention to it. It's right there available for this dragon, but this dragon is looking in the other direction. That's what I'm gleaning from our message for this. I am going to see what the book has to say. I just knocked over an empty cup. I guess it shouldn't have been sitting on my desk because this is a rather new deck for me. And I absolutely love this author's opinion of some of these cards. One moment. Oh, okay. It says that I said butterfly is a symbol of transformation, which it is. This book, however, says a sword balances on its pommel, a butterfly, symbol of the soul, lights atop the blade's talon sharp points. It talks about this dragon's special gifts and what she's going through. She's the most inquisitive of her class. She has a sense of wonder about everything. That's because she's in her thinking mind, Swords thinking mind. She's an explorer, not only of new ways to think, but also of new ways to communicate those thoughts. She is driven by logic and a fascination with puzzles. Plans are being made, but they're still in their early stages, hence the page, young, fresh, new beginning. This is a time for vigilance and questions, for gleaning as much information as possible. Gleaning as much information as possible and questions. I think that's our message for today, because now is a time. Also on the 26th, we're getting ready to go into the openings of the Lion's Gate, which is an astrological alignment, which allows us to communicate better with the other side, with spirit beings, with angelic realm. So having your questions primed and ready for all of these astrological events, whether it's retrospection with the retrogrades, or whether it's having a clearer channel of communication with the Lion's Gate, having questions as you go into this period and getting information returned to you that's going to benefit your path. So if you're like, I really don't have questions, or things are so confusing, I don't know what to ask, sit with that for a while, because I feel like now is a very, very, very good time to ask and receive. Next up is the star. Major Arcana, look at that. Now that is beautiful. The star, I bet those are 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. Often in normal tarot, there's usually one primary star and then 7 other stars. The 7 other stars can represent the 7 chakras, alignment on a spiritual sense. The star as a whole is a symbol of restoration, rejuvenation. She goes down by the water. She allows the water to rejuvenate and refresh her. All of the symbols of traditional tarot are in this card, which is very interesting. We have the ibis bird in a tree. We have these tributaries that are all, there's 5. Could represent the 5 senses, up to you to let you know what that represents. But we also have land and water represented. Anyway, all of that to say, whatever I mentioned that's standing out to you as a symbol, that's like, oh yeah, that's interesting. That's your message from this card. Overall, this message is about rest and rejuvenation. More specifically, in this moment, more specifically, allowing your connection with the divine to fill your cup. Rejuvenation, yes, if you're on empty, then filling your cup will feel like rejuvenation. If you're fine and you feel like you're high energy, high vibing in this present moment, still allow spirit to fill your cup, because what I feel like is this is preparation for what's coming next. This is preparation for what we've been asking for. It's like the runner before a major marathon. They sleep well the night before. They make sure they eat whatever they need to eat. They make sure they are hydrated before they go on the race. So I feel like that's what it's being called for. Make sure you are full. Make sure you are fully connected. Make sure you have spirit pouring into you. Make sure you feel rejuvenated, rested for what comes next. The star. Next up, another major arcana. The emperor. I had to see if that said emperor or empress. The emperor. Oh, I really love the depiction of water and the reflection. That's what's standing out to me. Look at that kingdom, though. That is quite the kingdom that this emperor reigns over and protects. But that reflection is really standing out to me. Anyway, the emperor, another major arcana, which is telling me that this energy is has the ability, if you call in the energy of the emperor, has the ability to affect all areas of your life, not just the area that you might be focused on at this time. So the emperor is considered a father figure, an archetype, also strongly connected with earth energies, where I would consider the magician being a spiritual father figure. I would consider the emperor being a earthbound or earthly manifested father figure. And so as you call in these energies, it's asking which areas of your life need more discipline, need more logic, need more physically manifested actions. All of those things can be represented by this very strong and prominent emperor energy. What's up with the reflection of the water, though? I wonder if the text mentions that, or if it's just part of the image they chose to portray. Let me just see. Ah, interesting. Let me show you that image one more time. Actually, I can show you. That's another reason why I like this, because it gives you a full page image. Let me show you this image one more time. You can really see the reflection here. And this is what I like it says. So it talks about all of the things that I just said about the emperor, about being a protector, being, let's see, he exemplifies courage, ambition, order, and law, blah, blah, blah. But then it says, let me find it. On one softer around the edges, more caring than Marshall. So it's talking about his caring side, and it resides in the face staring up from the lake's surface. If only you can get high enough up to see it. So if you're standing right here, I don't know that you would see the reflection. You would have to be high enough up to be able to look down and see the reflection the way this dragon can see his own reflection. And so what it's talking about is this is who he is in the world. He's taking care of business. He's ruling over his kingdom. He's compassionate. He's kind, but he's also authoritative. He's also doing things in this real world, not just spiritually connected, but governing real world activities. Who's wobbling over cows? Who needs more gold? He's handling all of those things within his kingdom, real world activities. But as we look down here, and he might be thought of as a strict authoritarian, but as we look down here in the water meaning our emotional, we see that this king, this emperor, has a softer side to him. Here's where all of his compassion. And so he's both of these things. Even though this is how he presents, he's both of these things. What lies beneath the surface, his emotions. And I think that's a good message for us too, as we look about bringing our life in order and taking more authority and taking more the stance of this emperor energy. We have to remember compassion needs to be there too, even if it's not something that we're outwardly showing in every moment, because maybe we need to show our authority in a moment. We still need to remember that we're not neglecting or removing that compassion. It's still part of the picture, part of the game, part of the scenario. All right, next up, I'm gonna go over to the chat because there might be something relevant over there. Someone's been sleeping. I love it. Oh, we had a page last week too. Someone's reminded me that we had pages last week as well. And now we're starting this week with pages. New, fresh things afoot. New things coming up for us. New ways of approaching things. Remember to get your rest. That's what I have to say about that. Next up in the spread is the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, now this is important. Remember, I just talked about the Emperor being our earthly manifested, in touch with real world manifesting. And then we go straight to Pentacles, which is also an earth sign. But the Knights of the Tarot ask us, or are calls to action. Knights are about action. Knights are the ones that ride out in front of the army. They're the ones that get shit started. And so this Knight of Pentacles is asking you, where do you need to take action in the real world? Your spirituality might be intact, meditating, you're getting messages, but are you applying those messages in the real world? Knight of Pentacles, where do you need to take action in the real world? Let's see what else it says in the book about this particular. Knight of Pentacles, I'm gonna read this whole thing. For some reason, it seems relative. Seems, for some reason, that human word just did not make sense in my brain at all. Do y'all have those moments where it's like, what am I saying in this moment? I've been speaking this language my whole life. English is not my second language. And sometimes I'm in the middle of a sentence and I'm like, that does not compute. What language am I speaking right now? Rippling with earth power, a valiant dragon hovers over field and heath. Despite being airborne, there is stillness to him, as if not even a cyclone could shift him from his place in the heavens. Captured in the dragon's pentacle aegis, the sun's reflected glory reigns on the land and life below. Today they are safe under the dragon's protective eye. Tomorrow may have a different story to tell. Deliberate and steady as a flow of lava, the Knight of Pentacles represents earth touched by fire. And like lava, though slow to act, once in motion, he is an unstoppable force. He is resolute and loyal, the epitome of moral rectitude, and acts far older than his years. Under the influence of the Knight, you move through the world at a decidedly conservative pace, making change not through revolution, but evolution. It is the natural way. Your word is your bond. Your work ethic is not only productive, but beyond reproach. Commit to doing your best, but take care not to become obsessive or perfectionist about it. Though inclined to be stoic, verging on the austere, beware. It is an extreme look, even for someone as mature as the Knight. It can seep into everything you do and damage even the most perfect life. That is taking the stance of being too stoic, can damage things. So again, balance. Look, I think balance is represented here too. We have divine feminine and masculine down here in the deer. But anyway, Page of Pentacles. I'm just going to leave that message there. I don't want to add too much to the interpretation. I feel like for some reason the book needed to be read. Actually, not a lot of that resonated with my personal path. Some of it did, but I feel like I needed to read that for someone in the audience. So I hope it resonated with someone. And then next, this almost looks like the same dragon, but maybe previous to being a knight. Doesn't it look like the same dragon? And we're Pentacles again, 4 of Pentacles. I can tell you the traditional message of the 4 of Pentacles is 4 represents stability. This is, to me, it's the first sense of stability after a period of instability. And because it's a fresh, new sense of stability, we have the tendency to want to hold tightly to the symbol of stability. Did your sense of stability come from an influx of cash? Did your sense of stability come from a renewed or a new relationship, someone partnering up with you romantically or business or otherwise that makes you feel, oh, now I feel stable because I have this support, basically. And you want to cling to it and you want to hold on to it because this stability feels so good. But when you hold on to it, you stop the natural flow. There's a flow to it. So you need to make sure that you're allowing it to continue to flow through your life and that you're not holding too tight to the symbol of stability, because all stability comes from above, all stability comes from the divine, and it just shows up in tangible ways for us. But this is not where this dragon stability comes from. It does not come from this gold coin. It comes from the divine who decided that this dragon needed a gold coin. So allow it to continue to flow. Allow that to continue to flow through your life. Sometimes it's going to show up as a coin. Sometimes it's going to show up as a new relationship. Sometimes it's going to show up as personal clarity. That's a form of abundance too. That's a form of a manifestation too. But if you hold on too tightly to the idea of this money is a representation of my stability, then you miss the point. No, this money is showing you that you are stable, but it's only a symbol of your stability. Your stability resides within yourself or resides with the divine. So this 4 of Pentacles is a reminder. Yes, you are experiencing new forms of stability if you allow it, but allow it to continue to flow. Don't hold on so tightly. Let this one come in, benefit you, release it, so the next one can come in, benefit you, release it. Keep going. Keep the cycle of abundance going. That's what we have from the Tarot. I'm going to set these aside in case we need to refer back to them. We're going to move on to Oracle cards. I'm trying to decide which Oracle card we should go with. Which Oracle deck? Got a few top contenders. Let's go with Beyond Lemuria to start things out. Lemuria, Beyond Lemuria. Trying to get that pronunciation correct. You know, it's funny how me and my friends have been talking about this recently. The reason why I'm so stuck on making sure I pronounce Lemuria correctly is because I did an event on Lemuria that is posted on YouTube. And out of the thousands of views, the one comment is like, you said Lemuria wrong. It's Lemuria. And I'm just like, and that's the one that my brain fixates on. That's the one. Hundreds of comments, thousands of views, and my brain fixates on, better not mispronounce that. Somebody might say something about you pronouncing it wrong. Isn't that interesting how our human brains do that to us? Let's not pay attention to all the things you did right. Let's only pay attention to that one fuck up you had back in 5th grade. And let's let that shadow your whole life. Can we stop doing that? Can we just agree that we don't give a fuck no more? Can we just collectively agree that? Anyway, 2 cards from this deck, not one. The first one is gorgeous. It kind of looks like a Lisa Frank picture. Y'all know Lisa Frank? I used to love Lisa Frank growing up. Life Force Energy, card number 34. Who needs this message? Life Force Energy. I'm not going to read the whole thing because the messages are very long, but I will read the italicized part right here, which says, it's keywords: energy, mana, I don't even know this word, AINA, the rainbow spectrum, bright white light, Reiki, celebrating life, God force, optimal health, being vibrantly alive, thriving nature, conscious consumption. Oh, I like that one. Eden, the body as a temple, bringing earth into balance. I like that one too. Cell rejuvenation, the love of the land. I love it. I'm going to skip over all of this, which talks about the card and the being, and I'm going to go straight to the divinatory meaning. It is time for celebration. Revel in the bliss of being alive. This is an incredibly healing card packed with luminous life force energy for optimal health and healing. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all that this card, it doesn't. This card has sacred geometry in it, but a lot of the cards have light language in it. And so you really need to look at the card to get the energy and the activation of it. But this one just has what looks like sacred geometry. So since it says it's an energetic card, I'm gonna hold it up so y'all can see the image and get the energy from it. It says it's packed with luminous life force energy for optimal health and healing. It reminds you to seek joy and upliftment in everything you do as much as possible. Consider the foods you eat, the environment you spend your time in, the people in your life, and even the things you wear. Increase your awareness of their journey, how they came to be in your world, and their energetic resonance. Are they alive and vibrant? You may also be inspired to work with healing energies such as Reiki or with the land, perhaps to grow vegetables. You are encouraged to joyously make your life a piece of Eden. As a result, you will shine with vitality. Interesting. The next one is a beautiful dragonfly. Look at that image. And the message is freedom. And I'm going to go straight to the divinatory meaning on this one. Bring a deeper sense of freedom to a situation. A limitation may be a state of mind. A shift of perspective can help bring a sense of lightness and choice. Also consider what freedom looks like to you in the bigger picture of your life. If you are feeling stifled in an environment, it is up to you to make a change. Add pleasurable moments or practices that cultivate a sense of greater freedom in your day-to-day life. If you are currently experiencing greater freedom, you may be feeling unsettled. Y'all know when you feel stifled after a long time and somebody finally takes the metaphorical shackles off of you and you're just like, oh, I don't know which way to go now. I'm actually free. I'm not tethered anymore. Where do I go? I'm feeling a little unsettled. That's what it's talking about. You may be feeling a little unsettled. Consider whether it is the kind you were looking for, the freedom. Consider whether this is the freedom that you were looking for. If you feel ungrounded and lost, perhaps you could add some structure to your world to optimize your freedom. So it's not saying go back, put the shackles back on. It's saying find a way to add a little bit of structure. Basically, I see that as if you were a balloon, a hot air balloon, and you were tethered down to the ground, and then for some reason somebody came and snipped all of those weighted bags up, and now you're just free and floating all over the place, and you're just like, oh no, what am I doing? Where am I going? Finding a bit of structure to your freedom does not mean add the weights back on and ground yourself. It means find a wind current. Put yourself in that wind current so that you feel as if you are flowing with direction instead of just flowing and flapping and floating. So staying in the direction of freedom, but finding some way to structure that freedom so that it feels more comfortable. Oh, they were both 7 cards. Oh, they were, weren't they? 3 + 4 was 7 and 2 + 5 was 7. Y'all know what 7 means in 7 means many things in numerology. The one that stands out to me, that has always stood out to me, is spirituality. I was always taught as a young child from the Bible that 7s in the Bible meant a link to spirituality. Lo and behold, I grow up and later find out that it's all numerology and hocus pocus magic shit. But I digress. I am so thirsty this morning. Was there light language on the dolphins? Is a question in the chat, and I did not notice it, but let me go look real quick because I have those cards on the top. Sure as shit is. I mean, it could be light language. It looks like geometric patterns to me, kind of like almost a maze, but I would consider that light language. And look at all the crystals floating in the air too. Of course, those are Lemurian crystals. I think that up there represents chakras. Look at all the colors and the flowers expanding. Okay, next deck. Do we have any requests for decks that y'all would like me to pull from? This is as much for y'all as it is for me. Let's make sure we get the messages we need from the places we need to get them from. I feel like we should pull from a deck maybe we haven't pulled from for a while. Hold on. I think I got a message that maybe I need to scroll back and see. Oh, I missed it, but it got taken care of. First time here, but do you have an Egyptian deck? First thing that jumped in my mind. I absolutely do, Christina. Christina, first time here. Well, welcome, Christina. I have another Christina that also has cats, and I just assumed it was that Christina when I saw your profile picture as a cat. But welcome, I'm glad you're here, and I absolutely do. I have one called Isis Oracle, which is one of the decks that is sitting right here that I was actually going to go to. So we're on the same wavelength. Do I have a love deck? No, I need to make one. Love deck by Valorie called Fuck This Shit. I need to stop being so jaded. I really love love. I really do love love. Like, I talk a bunch of shit about love, but I really do. Part of my soul loves being in love. That's the Sagittarius in me. Okay, this is a Gabrielle Bernstein deck, which is not necessarily an oracle deck or a tarot deck because there's no book. I call it a deck of affirmation, but it absolutely has brilliant insights for our path. And this one is, ooh, somebody needs to hear this message. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. And look at that beautiful picture of her hands over her heart center, her heart chakra. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. Ask yourself, do you believe you are worthy of feeling good? And don't be so quick to answer. Really feel into what that question is asking you to contemplate. Worthiness, feeling good. your part in it. I am going to go to the Isis deck. Do I have a deck that can speak to love? I wonder. I have several decks, but none that are specific to love. But of course, we can get the answer we need out of any of these decks. I wonder which one will answer a question about love. That's what I asked Spirit, which one of these decks will answer a question about love, and I got the most irrelevant. I mean, not irrelevant. I got a deck that I would not have gone to. This one, Goddesses and Sirens, is going to answer our questions about love. But first, I'm going to go to Isis Oracle, Alana Fairchild. Let's see about the Egyptian theme. What messages from ancient wisdom from Isis can help us today? Somebody's energy just shifted. I don't know who it was or what caused the shift, but somebody's energy just shifted and I could feel it in my soul, y'all. I can feel it in my soul. No, I can feel it energetically. Like it felt like the whole room just went from here to here, like whoosh. So whatever y'all doing, keep on doing it. Keep calling in those higher energies. Okay, the card we have, I'm trying to get it right in my brain, make sense of these words. Ooh, I really like this one. Talismans of potency, charging sacred objects of power. Let's see what that one is about. Talismans of potency. And I went straight to it in the book. I'm going to read the italicized portion, and then again, way too much text to read. And that's just the first 2 pages. It's got 2 more pages. So I will try to pick out what makes sense to read today, but I will read the italicized portion. Sacred tools and objects can become an extension of your energy field, focusing your power and intentions, helping you to heal the split between spirit and matter, and learning to bring physical matter more deeply into light and life. You are encouraged to work with sacred materials in a conscious way to help your own healing and enjoyment of the material world as part of your spiritual practice. I'm going to read that again because I don't think I emphasized it correctly. You are encouraged to work with sacred materials in a conscious way to help your own healing and enjoyment of the material world as a part of your spiritual practice. Your love for the physical world of matter is a gift to the earth too. Ooh. Yeah, I've been working on this in my own spiritual practice, so I feel like very timely message for myself. Jumping ahead. This oracle is seeking to draw your awareness to your special ability to work with material objects to awaken spiritual light within them. The material world is filled with light, and our loving intention can help awaken that light within form. Skipping ahead. Objects become talismans when they are cleansed, dedicated, and charged with sacred intent. Skipping ahead. If you have been considering working with crystals for healing, or tarot cards, or physical tools for spiritual growth, you are encouraged to do so by the Oracle of Talisman of Potency. They will help you grow and empower you. And I think that's it. I think that's all we need to read from that text. Talismans of Potency. I like how it speaks of those talismans as being a bridge between the spiritual and the physical. I'm very much finding that to be true. It's very much reminding me of the story of Lemurian crystals and how knowledge is imparted within the crystals. It's a physical, real world, actual thing that you can see and touch, but it's also a tool that you can use to connect you to the spiritual realm. So that's just one example. Pendulums are another example, tarot cards, of course. So looking at these tools, I would say looking at these tools through a more sacred and revered lens, seeing them as sacred tools to help bridge the divide might enhance your path. Working with them in a more sacred way, maybe setting up rituals, maybe cleansing them more regularly, all the things. Let's see. Oh, someone said make paintbrushes, paint, and canvases sacred. Add crystals. I have so many ideas. I love that idea. I too am an artist. That's some of my work back there. And this is some of my friend Rowan's work right in front of it. I like that idea. I don't know if you work with, this is an aside, artist to artist. Christina, I don't know if you work with, I just realized I have two Christinas present. Wait, where's my Christina? No, I don't. Christina, this is your first time here? This is your first time on Magical Monday? I could have sworn you've been in these before. I'm like, oh, that Christina. Y'all, I'm so confused right now. Spirit, can you send my human brain back to me? Because I think you took pieces last night when I was asleep. I'm looking over in the chat and I see this cat and I keep thinking that I'm going to look at all of the pictures and find a cat, but you're on camera. And I thought it was two separate Christinas. I did have a full cup of coffee this morning. I did have coffee this morning. This makes no sense. Anyway, I love that idea. I was like, we have another Christina and she's an artist. And then I'm like, oh no, it's the Christina that I've been looking at all this time on screen. I'm so confused. Anyway, Christina, my point. I have a point, y'all. It's just taken me a really long time to get to my points these past days. Multimedia. I used to do multimedia and I had these crystals that I would glue onto the painting, like, you know, like a geode effect or just like in different places where they made sense for me to paint, to glue them onto the canvas and then paint around them. I think I only did that once or twice, but I want to get back to it now that you mentioned it. That sounds like a really cool thing to do. Okay, questions about love. I'm going to goddesses and sirens. I didn't ask the specific question before I pulled the first card, but let me ask the specific questions. What does this group need to know about love? Oh, sweet spirit, you're such a jokester. First, I'm going to tell you the card that I pulled before I ask the question. I love her energy. Bouddhaka. That's how I say it. Bouddhaka. Unity. She is a fierce warrior goddess. Look at the ferocity in her. Okay, let me read her message. I feel like she has messages for the group. In the italicized part, it says, you will be victorious. Teamwork or a partnership may be better than going it alone. Synergy is important right now. Delegation is useful. It tells her whole story. I invite you to look that up online. She has an interesting story, but let's get to the message of the card. Let's go straight to the shadow side. Where's the message? When you feel downtrodden or a victim of injustice, or think that you cannot possibly win, call upon the Queen of the Icenia, which is this goddess, or think that, to assist you. Her energy is one for when you feel that you are unjustly being ignored and you are not receiving the respect You're not receiving the respectful treatment from others that you deserve. If that feels like you, I strongly encourage you to go online and Google this goddess's name, Boudicca, and get her full story, because her energy can definitely help you on your path. And I think I know who that might be directed at. I hope you know that that's you as well, and that you research that. The only admonition, so the flip side of that, like if you were to get this card in reversal, so it's saying call on her energy to help you, but here's the warning. Boudica's, that's how I say her name, Boudica's anger was almighty and her retribution ferocious. According to the Roman historian Tacitus, she was said to have killed 70,000 civilians in Londonian alone by various means, including hanging, crucifixion, and disembowelment. She was particularly savage to the women, showing no mercy. While healthy anger can fuel wise action, rage rarely does. There's a big difference between expressing healthy anger and expressing the uncontrolled negative energy of rage. It is worth knowing your triggers and seeking help if you do regularly escalate into rage. So just a little warning about recognizing when you are passing the tipping point and moving into rage. Okay, on to the reading about love. I asked, what do we need to know about love? What does this group need to know about love? And I pulled this card and laughed to myself because it is the goddess of love, Aphrodite, and it says self-love. Aphrodite. Isn't Aphrodite also the Venus? Venus and Aphrodite, aren't they equals in Roman and Greek mythology? I think so. At least that's what I've always thought. Aphrodite, what do we need to know about love? And Spirit is like, let me show you a mirror. This is what you need to know. Look in the mirror. Love yourself more. That's not what I asked you. I'm asking, what I'm really asking you about, Spirit, when I ask about love, I get all the self-love. I'm working on self-love. But what I'm really asking you about, Spirit, is when am I going to get some dick? That's what I want to know. And this card is not answering that for me, Spirit. But let's see what Spirit has to say. Romantic love comes into focus. Build your love of self from the inside out. You only fear because you lack self-love and acceptance. Jealousy is unnecessary. Again, this gives her whole backstory. Aphrodite as a goddess, what she went through, why she was named the goddess of love. And here's her lesson. While her role as a goddess of romantic love is well known, her primary lesson is one of self-love. Aphrodite shows us that we are born perfectly lovable and ready to accept our own beautiful selves. She encourages the development of love from the inside out rather than from the outside in. This way, we do not rely on anyone to give us our sense of self-worth or self-esteem. We know we are worth it. Without a healthy love of self, we reduce our personal power, often falling into petty jealousies, judging our bodies. Anybody out there doing that? I am. And numbing our minds, like that's however you choose to numb your mind. So a return to self-love or an increased amount of self-love is what Spirit has to say about love. The shadow side. To hunger for a romantic partner to complete us rather than developing love for ourselves is a path that seldom leads to happiness. Codependent relationships are based on a meshing of identities rather than two individuals gaining love and support from each other. Although Hollywood and romance knowledge try to sell us on the idea that we can never be happy without a partner, this is far from the truth. Desperate love, one that borders on obsession, does not end well. I love it. Symbols of love. So if you're walking around the street saying, Spirit, show me a sign that I'm ready for love, that I'm ready for a partner, here are some symbols you might encounter. These are symbols of love: dove, shell, foam, myrtle, rose, apple, poppy, and flowers. Good enough. All right. She is a badass. Please research her because I did some research the first time I pulled that card and I was just like, I really like her story. So if that first goddess, Boudica, that's how I say it, Boudica. If that first goddess intrigued you, please research her story. It's really informative. Or get the deck. I love the deck. Let's see, what should we wrap it up on? Since she said self-love, let's go to the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. The Sacred Self-Care Oracle, Voices of the Soul. I don't know, this deck has been sitting on my desk. I even shuffled through it and I didn't pull a card. I think I need to pull a card from this deck and then we'll wrap up with Sacred Self-Care. Voices of the Soul, Voice of the Soul Oracle. Spirit is saying, need a message from this deck. That card. Calm. 7, another 7. Y'all, you can't make this shit up. Calm. 7s are coming up. Everything is coming up. 7s. Somebody go put some money on craps. Y'all could win. 7. Please don't take that gambling as I need to, because this is on YouTube. I am not advising you of any financial matters, spiritual or otherwise. Please use your own discretion for entertainment purposes only. If you play craps and you lose, it was just a joke, y'all. Okay, calm. I'm going to skip right to what our spirit guides want us to know. This is broken into different sections. Your spirit guides. You have already opened a new chapter in your life. Renewal is here. That reminds me of the star, renewal and rejuvenation. Renewal is here. It is present in your energy and you can feel it. We know it and we continue to send you signs to confirm your feelings are correct. This is your spirit guides talking to you. This is an important year for you. It will be rich in transparency, change, and honesty. You dare to say what you would like and what you want. You dare to show yourself as you are. You dare to raise your head and believe in your inner victory. This brings a wonderful energy of uncharted territory. It brings new relationships with others. Important documents will be signed, which will let you bring to life the renewal you have long been waiting for. Ooh, important documents. I hope that is a message for one of my friends. Everything is there. All is well. And how do we access all of that was just told that we are going to be blessed with? We find our calm. We find our calm. And in the calm, those things will flow to us. Okay, finally, wrapping it up. Self-care, Sacred Self-Care Oracle. What do we need to know about taking care of ourselves, about loving ourselves more? What messages can you give us about how we can care for ourselves in this upcoming week? And we get beauty ritual. Beauty ritual. Card number 5. The mantra is, I am beautiful inside and out. Whatever makes you feel like you're manifesting your most beautiful self is worth putting energy towards. Plan a beauty ritual that feels sacred and indulgent. Set an intention for your ritual and stay in a mindful state throughout the experience. If other thoughts and distractions enter your awareness, gently let them go and redirect your focus to yourself. By being intentional, you can turn a face mask, an application of the makeup, or even something as simple as your daily shower into a sacred experience. I think that kind of ties in with blessing and talismans and using those things. Maybe you bless your makeup brushes and use them as talismans and part of your spiritual self-care ritual for taking care of yourself. Beyond that, look for ways that you can create the time and space to have that special beauty treatment. Consider how you could adorn your body to express your unique essence. For example, dye your hair a funky color, wear new jewelry, or perhaps get a tattoo. Y'all, let's all get matching tattoos. I've been needing a tattoo for a long time. A journal prompt if you are the journaling nature. What could you do to make your daily beauty routine feel more sacred. Beautiful message about how we can care for ourselves during this upcoming week. Aside from the beauty ritual, I would say find ways to love yourself as you are. Stop the body shaming, stop the condemning the way you look, and find ways to love the beauty the way you are. And then once you're loving what is and calling what is beautiful, watch for spirit to bless you with more signs of beauty, with more ways to beautify yourself. Okay, that's what I have. Oh, somebody just signed a new lease, the signing of important documents. I love it. Okay, thank you all so much for being here. Your energy always leads to this. I could not read to an empty room, so I'm so glad that you are here with your questions and that spirit is able to answer and give guidance through me, through the cards. I hope that you take all of this information and be a creator and create your life the way you intended when you came into physical formation, and not just react to what is already here before you materialize. So, love you all. Hope to see you back next Monday and also at other events throughout the week. Oh, I do want to mention, please go to my scheduling website because I do have a special that's current. It just started and it runs through the 12th for a $22 Lion Gates reading. So if that interests you, check it out on my website. All right. Love you all. Bye. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful Monday.